Familiar with cliche phrases such as grass isn't always greener, don't bite the hand that feeds you, thinking your hot shit will get you dumped. Well, actually, that might be mine. But it applies here. So says Stephen A. Smith about the departure of Molly Qerim. And we'll talk about it right now on Doing It for GP.
You can't handle the truth.
As a whole becomes a part, I strike to burn, and the flame returns.
Welcome back to the channel. Your boy Mac back with some thoughts, with some opinions, with some reactions. Wipe your feet off as you come in, hit the like button if you so choose, and hopefully you stay a while. Shout out to the supporters. With that said, let's take this walk. So, if you haven't been in tune, Molly Qerim left ESPN. And in addition to her eulogy on ESPN that she clearly expressed that she was unaware and not cool with.
Good morning and welcome to First Take. Normally, our friend Molly Qerim would greet you. However, Molly announced last night she will be departing from ESPN. She's hosted First Take for 10 years and elevated the show with her grace, her expertise, her incomparable kindness. She's been an enormous part of our success for a decade. Not only did she keep me and many others in line, she did it with dignity and class and kindness, to say the least. We'll miss her and wish her every blessing on her future. I personally am grateful to her for her friendship, and I will miss spending every weekday morning with her right by my side.
Stephen A. went on his own show to talk about Molly, but not talk about Molly, but talk about Molly.
I want to move on to a broader subject in regards to this. And this part is not about Molly. News for you. You can't wake up and be Mad Dog Russo. You can't wake up and be Adam Shine. You can't wake up and be Stephen A. It takes work. In the end, we all have people to answer to. You know, it doesn't have to be about her. But when you have negotiations and you're talking with people and you're going back and forth and you're hearing things that you may not want to hear or feeling things you may not want to feel, even though you're valued, even though people acknowledge those kind of things, we live in a world where we have to grow up. And again, I'm not talking about Molly here.
Right.
But I'm watching, and I've been watching over the last several years, people in this business fall by the wayside because we forget that all of us ultimately answer to people. We don't get to define our own value. We don't get to define our own worth. We don't get to sit there and summarily say, this is who I am and this is what I'm going to do. And guess what? I don't give a damn what anybody say unless you have the leverage to do it. When you heard me at a time when we were discussing my contract negotiations all over the media and all throughout the sports world, what I talked about was what my worth was based on what the numbers showed. I talked about these are the ratings. This is the revenue. Why do I say that? Because every one of us answer to somebody. This notion that everybody gets to do what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it, feeling whatever way they want to feel. When you got your hand out for other people's money, it doesn't work that way. And again, I'm not talking about Molly with all of this.
Nigga, please.
But the reason why I piggyback off the topic of her to get into a more generalized discussion is because I'm seeing people in this business and beyond falling by the wayside and departing from places they don't need to depart from because their excellence at what they do is prevalent and relevant and flagrant. And they should be here. But it can all evaporate in a snap if you lose perspective. And you forget that everybody, and I mean everybody, answers to somebody. And you know, when you make moves, when I sat up there and I talked about what my worth was, it's because I knew I had leverage. Because I had other opportunities. You don't say stuff like that when you don't.
Yeah, Stephen A. I guess you weren't talking about Molly.
I got a better chance joining the KKK.
But a blind man can put together the behind the scenes and internal conflicts, particularly with Molly, that went into this. Molly didn't feel value as a woman in sports.
Come on, Molly. Want to hike it?
Which still? Yeah. Get out of here. Touch my body on the floor. Twist me around.
Well, I don't mean in that aspect, but that was wild. I mean, just like, contemporaries like Joy Taylor or Kerry Champion before her. Molly feels like she has more to contribute. She wants to be able to speak her opinion more. She wants to be the people Stephen A. just mentioned. She wants to be paid like a Stephen A. Smith, right? She's been on First Take for a decade and, it feels like all decisions on the show are catered to Stephen A. Smith, which they are. Stephen A. admits religiously to working like a dog to please his bosses, That way, in turn, he'll be rewarded because being reliable and in demand gives him leverage. As Stephen A. alluded to, contract negotiations probably happened for Molly after Stephen A.'s crazy contract he has, and she felt being the moderator should award her a crazy contract as well. Again, as Stephen A. said, he did the work to build other platforms to have even more leverage, in addition to working overtime like he does on ESPN. Molly Qerim is a millionaire by sitting on TV every day for 2 hours to look pretty, ask questions, and move conversations along. Apparently that wasn't enough. Tried to hold him hostage, and they gave her the ransom note, aka pink slip. What do I know? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe if you like the content, hit the notification bell. And with that said, hopefully you've been entertained and informed while passing this precious time that we have. And hopefully I've earned your sub. I go by the name of Mac. This has been Doing It for GP. Till next time.
You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here, because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here.
You never did me, I spit the truth. Call you aware, fear-driven niggas get the boot. All of you squares couldn't fit up in my circle. All of us rare and will hurt you severe. Slow your roll, nigga, patience is a virtue. Yeah, and a nigga bite any bark. When I black out, how you gon' hide in the dark?
And this part is not about Molly.